This week I want to begin by talking about everyone's favorite Hungarian psychoanalyst, René Spitz. I don't know if he's your favorite Hungarian psychoanalyst, but René Spitz is a very famous psychoanalyst who died in 1974. But I want to tell you about his most famous study. In his most famous study, he studied the lives of 97 children ages birth through 3 years old. 97 children who grew up in a South American orphanage because he wanted to see if he could learn anything from the type of care that they received. The reason he picked that particular orphanage was because it was an orphanage that was understaffed. There were enough nurses to change their diapers and give them food, but they were insufficiently staffed to such an extent that there wasn't ever any time for the nurses to hug the children, or to rock them, or to spend any time talking with them. It was just task after task after task, diaper after diaper after diaper, and just food after food after food, but never any time to just spend time with them. And it was interesting what he discovered as he observed the lives of these children. After 1 year, a number of the children, even though they were getting enough food and even though their diapers were changed and everything sufficiently, a number of them were unhealthy. They were losing unhealthy weight. After 2 years, a number of them were so unstable, and it was obvious that they were so unstable emotionally that when a nurse would pick them up, they would start screaming violently as if something so unusual were happening. As he observed them through 3 years old, a number of the children, almost 30 of the children, died before the age of 3. And as he observed them over the course of their life, only a handful of them got into adulthood, and the majority of those who got into adulthood ended up suffering severe psychological trauma that they carried with them for the rest of their lives. And from that study, well, he concluded really something that the Bible has been saying from the very beginning, that we were created to be loved. That God created us to be loved. And this week we're going to spend some time talking about what that means and what that looks like when we extend that love to others. But this week, as we begin a week in which we focus on God's love, I want to remind you of two important aspects of God's love for you. And the first one is this, that God loves you. God loves you uniquely. Uniquely. In Psalm 139, addressing God, the psalmist says, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." Or another way to summarize what that passage says is, you wouldn't be here if God did not want you to be here. And you would not be who you are if God did not want you to be exactly who you are. There has never been another you in the history of this whole world. God loves you uniquely. He considers the work of putting your life together, of putting your body together, wonderful. You are a wonderful work of God. And the second aspect of God's love that I want us to collectively celebrate this week is this. It's that God loves you closely. He loves you closely. You think about the care of a mother holding her child and how safe that child will feel in mother's arms. And then listen to this verse where it's talking about Jesus as our good shepherd. It says he carries the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. That's where you always are in God's care. You are always close to his heart, close enough to his heart that he will always keep you there, always, no matter what it would cost him. This week we rejoice in that love, and we talk about how to express that same type of love towards the people around us. Today we talked about how God loves you uniquely and he loves you closely. But as you probably know, it's not always easy to feel that that's true. Sometimes we don't feel that there's anything all that special about us, and we don't feel that God is anywhere close to us. And if you know somebody in your world who's feeling that way right now, somebody who feels kind of alone, somebody who feels like nobody's giving them their good attention, would you consider sharing this video with them as a way to remind them that God loves them, that God sees them, that they are uniquely and closely loved by God himself, as a way to remind them of that, and as also a way to encourage them to watch the rest of this video, the videos on love that you'll see this week. We'll see you tomorrow.
I hope and pray that today's devotion was a great blessing to you and gave you all the hope and Jesus you need to make it through this day with joy and peace. I'm not sure if you know, but it's not free for us to make these videos. It takes a lot of people a lot of energy, a lot of time, and a lot of expense, which is why we're so grateful for you. People just like you who give their prayers and give their donations allow us to produce more content focused on Jesus to give people hope in the presence of God. So if you're willing to support our ministry, we'd love for you to click that button to give the best gift that you can and help us to bring more Jesus to more people. Thanks for your support and have an amazing day.